I'm taller than you.
No, you're not.
We're live, y'all, from Cape Town. Still in Cape Town.
Ouch.
We are,
I'm just banging myself on all this glass.
let me tell you, Rick has been having issues today. He has sliced toes, he has gotten injured, and we are still coming to you live because we love you, right?
But one good thing today,
What's that?
I got to fly my drone.
Yeah, so we'll
I got
have
some
some
good
great
footage.
footage to show you all. We are back in the city that we fell in love with over a decade ago. We came to South Africa in late 2008, and I got to teach entrepreneurship to the kids here in a few of the townships. And two of the folks who I taught with, we got to meet with.
Yeah, we met with them the other day.
Yep,
Yeah,
Friday. Friday.
right.
We got to take them to dinner on Friday in Stellenbosch. So that was just lovely. They're all grown up now.
They're all grown
They
up.
are all grown up. And so our visit to South Africa was the thing that got us thinking about moving abroad, right? This was
Mhm.
the first place that we had gone to that were like, okay.
We were looking at real estate.
We were looking at real estate, y'all. We were looking at real estate, and now we're back. And it is a lot more developed than it was then. It's still as affordable.
Yeah, it is.
It's still as affordable to us, from what I remember, even though the exchange rate has changed. And and so, yeah, we're going to talk about could we do this, and we got to stick around to the end because this is going to be tough.
You think?
If you are new to our channel, hey y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth, right? We hope folks who look like us get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early because, right, about 7.5, 8 years ago, Rick and I got a wake up call. We looked at our retirement fund and the money looked crazy.
Crazy.
He just wants to act silly. See, this is the problem. Too many of the ladies have been telling Rick, I love when you do that. And now he's got to do it.
Hey, that I
And now
did.
he's got to do
I got to
it.
have my signature.
No, but seriously, it did look crazy. Our money looked crazy. We were over 50 and we had not prepared. We just hadn't. But about 3.5, 4 years ago, we did get our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1 million in net worth. Y'all, if we can do it, seriously, if we can do it, you can do it too.
You can do it.
You seriously can.
Yeah.
All right. I want you to give yourself a break.
Give yourself
And
grace.
give yourself grace to do the
Yes,
thing,
yes.
to do the thing. So I see, there's so many favorites that are in the audience right now, but I always got to give V some love. How about Utopia stays in them international streets? Hit the like button if you want to join us. So, right, because we're doing our annual meetup is June 2024. It's June 17th and 18th. The information is in the description below. We have partnered with Blacks of Global. Y'all come visit us in Lisbon. Come hang out. Come hang out for the whole month of June and have a ball with us.
Yeah.
See if this is something that you could do. If not, maybe it is Cape Town. So we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna give my first reason why we are Cape Town, South Africa is in the mix for me.
Okay.
So my first reason is we blend in.
Well, yeah, we're in Africa.
And look, because when we were in the timeout market, there's a timeout market here in Cape Town. When we were in the timeout market, we were in the minority.
Yeah, that night.
But in general, we blend in. And I figured out that I don't want to be to appear to be a perpetual immigrant. Like, right? Like, no, I could be in a country for 10 years, living there for 10 years, and folks still look at me and automatically speak English, right? Or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or automatically think I'm a tourist and then approach me, the vendor's approach and all of that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the good things that I really liked about it Or like about being here?
Yes, because we're here now.
I like about being here is a lot of people speak English. A lot. Did I say a lot?
We've taken a month off, y'all. We've taken a month off of language lesson. He's just so happy. But don't worry, because we're getting back to it. We're getting back to it. But before we get to reasons 2, 3, 4, and 5 that Cape Town is or South Africa is on the list, because we're going to be in Johannesburg next week, y'all. We're going to be in Johannesburg, and guess who we're going to be interviewing? Want to tell them?
Nope, you tell them.
Ashley in Africa. That's right. So we will interview her next week. She moved here. She moved to Tanzania about 3 years ago. She moved to South Africa about a year ago. She has 2 daughters. She's a single mom and entrepreneur, and she is living her best life.
She's living her best
life.
Yes.
If Africa is on your list, you're going to have to check us out next week as well. All right, let's see who is in the chat. Hey, Shaquan. And Diane is in the house. Hello there, Maria and Rob.
Hey, I wanted to say Big Mike. Okay, so Big Mike know who he is. Y'all might not know who he is. But Big Mike sent me a text, said, I tried to get in the Facebook group, man, but I didn't get in.
He was denied.
He was denied. Well, Big Mike, you got to put your picture in there, brother. We got to see who you are.
That's right. So our Facebook group is Our Black Utopia Fire Over 50. You do not have to be over 50 years old, but you do have to be from the African diaspora. I need to be able to see. You got to answer the questions, have a profile picture, or send me a messenger and say, A, B, and C person, this is me.
We'll get you there, Big Mike. We'll get you, baby.
And if you don't have a profile picture, it's going to take a longer time, because then I got to message you and back and forth and back and forth. Hey, CK. Hey, VX Girl is in the house. Vanessa. And of course, Action VJ. And Greta is in the house.
Greta.
Enjoy every moment in South Africa. We are. Hey, please. We are enjoying Cape Town. The weather is great. It's been a little rainy. Now it's been warm. Tomorrow, Exodus Summit crew is heading to the wineries.
They're going back to the wine farms, y'all.
Y'all, it's gonna be like 80, 90 degrees.
Y'all gonna have 100 women.
100 women out
drinking
there
wine.
Drinking.
Lord, that's gonna be something. I like to film every moment of that.
Hey, Alexandria. Hello, OBU family. Holy Spirit, could you make South Africa your new home? You're going to have to stick around, Deborah. And we will let you know. Shanora, good to see you. Hello, Utopians. Hey, Greta, good to see you. Dana is logging in from Texas, and Bobby is in Colorado.
How you doing?
We're doing great. We are doing great. Hey, Jametta, good to see you. And Auntie Trey is in the house. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully it is not still torrential rains in LA. We keep bringing the rain everywhere we go, y'all. So I don't know. Hey, Elador, good to see you in the house. We got Kimmy and Costa.
Big Mike. Big Mike. That's Big Mike.
Oh, is that who that is?
That's Big Mike.
See, look. And you wonder why you don't get no special love. You can't be changing the
up through a loop. You threw it through a loop.
I was like, this is me. I don't know who this is. Hey, I didn't know it was part of our crew. Hey, James, good to see you. Christy's in the house. Professor Jess. All right, y'all. Laura is in the house. And Krishan is in the house. Ramona La Roche is in the house. The doctor. All right. Tanya, we love you guys. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it moving. You know the deal. If you have a question or comment that you want us to put on screen, we're in an Airbnb. Y'all know it's loud in the hallway, so you'll just have to show us a little grace here. Put a Q in front of it, and that will help us keep track of everything. And
hey, my nephew is here. Our nephew is here.
Oh, hey, Alaric. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well. Tell everybody I said hey.
When you coming in Portugal, I know you plan on coming. Bring it on. Bring it on.
You better be quick, because we might be in South Africa before you know it. Alberto is in the house. Uh-oh. Did I? No. Okay, I'm good.
You just messing with it. Leave it.
I'm trying to leave it alone.
Leave technology alone.
I'm trying to leave it alone. All right. So number one for me was we blend in. Of course, we blend in Portugal as well. So, but that keeps it on the list, right? And the reason why we're going through this is because when you are country shopping, you really do need to have some objective list, because it's easy to just fall in love with a place. You come here, the weather's nice, it gets hot, but it doesn't get crazy hot. It gets cold, but it doesn't get crazy cold, right? And then you've got Table Mountain. If you're talking about Cape Town, that's always, you can always see, and it's so beautiful. So, it's easy just to get emotional about a place and
it truly
be
is.
on the motherland.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it really, really
is. It's a beautiful place.
Okay, my number 2 thing is the food. So far, the food is great. We noticed the first time that we were here that even processed food had less crap in it.
Yeah.
Even Frito-Lay Doritos have less crap in it than the Doritos in the States.
But they were good.
What, the ones in the States?
No, the Doritos here.
The Doritos here are great.
Oh my goodness.
They're good.
I haven't had the Doritos in a long time.
Yeah, nor have I. They were great. But when you read the back of the package, there's not all of this stuff that I can't pronounce. Right? And then I got a little pissed off. I got pissed off back in 2008. I was like, why do other people have better food than we from American companies? Why is that? Right? So, so the food is great, but the restaurant food is great that we've had so far, and it's affordable. Mm-hmm. We had the first day we were here, we went out with Lamar and Angela, and we all had burgers. Just, it was lunchtime, bacon burger. The bacon's better.
Barbecue burger.
Whatever.
It was very good.
With fries. I had grilled vegetables, actually. And everybody had beverages and everything else. And I think the whole bill was like, with beers and stuff like that, was like $17 per person.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even that, was it? Maybe. Was it? I don't think it was that.
I think it was less than that.
I think it was less than that. But because it wasn't $84. It was like $40. So the food is, and this is still a little touristy, upper scale area. If we would have walked in the other direction, it would have been half that cost. So the food. You like the food?
I love the food.
Okay. What is another reason that Cape Town's on the list?
Well, I mean, it's, not far from Stellenbosch. So you got all your wineries, your wine farms. Very good wine at very affordable prices, like Portugal. But, it's the motherland.
Yeah, the wineries are wonderful. I didn't even, that wasn't even on my list. The food at the wineries were wonderful.
Fantastic.
But what's crazy is, and this will be interesting, especially if we do a tour up in Douro Valley, is like the average price of the wine tastings were anywhere from they all were under $10.
Yes.
The average price was like $5 for 5 glasses of wine. Now, not heavy pour, short pour, but still.
Enough pour.
Enough pour. But yeah, $5 a bottle. I mean, $5 for the tasting, for all the tastings. And then like even that charcuterie board that we got, it was like huge.
Wasn't that big?
It was huge. And I think it was like $7, $8. Yeah. With it was enough. They said it was for 2 people. Actually, it was enough for 4 people. We did the grandma thing and put cheeses. I mean, a whole brick of cheese. Not just, little things here and there, little slices and stuff to try to make it look like it's a lot. No. So we ended up bringing stuff back to the Airbnb to put in our eggs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
You can't ask them.
It was a lot of fun.
You don't really want to ask them for a doggy bag.
At the winery.
At the wine place.
At the winery. All right. So yeah, I didn't think of that. So Laura, we have not looked at real estate yet here. Infrastructure, are the people nice? Safety. Okay. So housing prices, we don't know. Infrastructure, some of this stuff I'm going to save. Are the people nice? Yes. Mm-hmm. Safety, does that include the way people drive? Does that include the way people drive? We will answer infrastructure and safety. I'm starring it, and so we'll get back to it. And come to USA. Jamie? Yeah, look, what we have not checked out, and I probably should have, are the requirements for residency. I have not checked out in years. So I have, if you're asking questions about residency, that's probably something for next week when we have Ashley in Africa, who has actually migrated here, right? So that'll be for next week. This is about the vibe. This is about our experience here so far, less about the technical aspects of getting here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're going to put together some footage and stuff like that, because it really is a beautiful country. But and I wish we could actually probably download some of the footage that we have from the last time we were here, with the penguins and the camels and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a beautiful country. It really, really, really
I
is.
want to go see the penguins again.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, you've decided. All right. Well, I guess we're going to have to do that Tuesday, or you can go tomorrow. Well, you can do that tomorrow. Yeah. While we're in Stellenbosch. All right. So that was 1 and 2. Number 3 for me is the cost of living, which we've kind of been talking about. It's affordable.
Yeah.
So we'll check housing prices. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that while Rick's talking about his reason. But when I say it's affordable, that is for the average American person. Okay. I want to be really clear about that, because I don't know what the minimum wage, if there is a minimum wage here in South Africa. I know they hustle down here. That's one thing I do see, is that they hustle. But one of the reasons why we were able to do what we were able to do is because, especially getting started late. Like getting started late, we would not have been able to retire in 2022 had we decided to stay in the United States. And so the idea is to bring that money to a place with a lower cost of living, understanding that, and not wanting to add to the problems of the locals. It's a fine line that we walk.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so I don't want to be cavalier about the pricing. I really, really don't. And I don't know so far where we've been. In some instances, it is less expensive than Portugal, like the food is less expensive in Portugal. The Uber rides have been about the same as they are in Portugal, which is good because they are very affordable in Portugal and way better, even way better than they are in Spain.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if in Spain they add on extra taxes or what. I don't know why it's so expensive in Spain, but it is.
It is. It truly is.
Yeah, because, what would cost us like €5 in Portugal would cost us like €15 in Spain. And then here it's costing about the same, about, $5, anywhere from $4 to $6. So, depending upon surge times and blah, 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 blah. So, the cost of living. So far I looked at transportation. I looked at food. We haven't checked out healthcare and stuff like that, but food and transportation are the two of the biggest. Then you got healthcare and housing, right? Those are the 4 major costs. So the half that we've checked out so far is definitely in line with our budget. And so that's great. Do you have another reason why South Africa is still on the list?
Did we say the weather?
No.
I really, really am enjoying the weather. Of course, it is summertime here, or considered to be summer. Where in the States it's winter.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier on, it's not too cold and it's not too hot. And today was a warm day.
Today was in the 80s.
It was in the 80s, so it was good, but it was comfortable. I walked around to shoot some drone footage and stuff by myself, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I felt fine. I felt safe. A lot going on around the city. where we are near the waterfront and stuff like that, a lot of stuff was going on. So you have a lot of people. You got a lot of tourists in town too. So.
Yeah. Because it's summertime. So, and the marketplaces are everywhere down in this area because it's the city center. And then you got, like yesterday, we saw some traditional dancing, some traditional singing.
That was awesome.
So the kids were great.
The kids were just doing their
great.
thing.
Oh my gosh, the harmonies and stuff. I was like, so we'll show you. If you're following us on Instagram, we will post some of that stuff on Instagram, and some YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So yeah, the weather. Right now I'm warm, but we've got the air conditioner off. And I would say tomorrow is probably going to be the hottest. But even when it was raining, I have not been cold. I have been hot, but not like miserable hot.
No.
And so there's some humidity, but it's not like tropical humidity. It's pretty much, I'd say it's a little bit more humid than Portugal, but not much. Not much.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. So weather. You kind of said this in the opening, but it's on my list. So English is one of the official languages of South Africa.
There's many.
It's one of there are many.
There are many.
When we were here in 2008, it seems like there was about 7, maybe even 14 official languages, but English is one of them, as well as Afrikaans, the ones that the colonizers brought, of course, as well as some other tongues. But, English, so you default to English, even though I've been defaulting to Portuguese because of habit. But it makes it easy.
Yeah.
There's no language lessons necessary if you don't want to.
A lot of people speak a lot of, traditional, depending what tribes they come from and different things like that. Because we were talking to a young man at one of the tastings, and he was talking like he spoke 5 or 6 different languages.
Yeah.
In Xhosa, they have that click, that Xhosa. And, then he would live somewhere else outside of Cape Town. He lived somewhere else where they spoke a different language. So he had to learn that language. Then when you move from there, you move to another place. Well, it's a different tribe. It's a different area. You speak their language. So he was saying he knew like 5 or 6 languages.
Yeah. So he didn't feel comfortable speaking all of them, but he could understand. So it's like they would be speaking to him in Zulu, and then he'd be speaking back to them in another language, and they could understand each other, but didn't feel comfortable speaking the language. That I understand. So how would you feel not having to learn another language?
Well, I feel fine, but I know that I'm trying to get a chord, you guys. I feel fine, but I also know that, it's something I need to do. It's something I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm just going to take my time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are several reasons why, language learning is on my list. And, one of the reasons obviously is because it staves off senility and dementia. So that's one of the most important reasons. But also, if we were to stay in Portugal, then I want to be able to make more Portuguese friends as well as African immigrant friends, because a lot of them don't speak English as well.
And like everybody keeps saying, Portugal is the hardest language. It's a very hard language to learn. So I could probably learn Xhosa.
Well, they say that's easier.
Okay, there you go.
So
I can learn Xhosa.
They say that's easier. The sentence structure supposedly is easier. The pronunciation is not going to be easier with the Q and the K, and that takes practice.
I can't fake it.
No.
Dang.
No. And the last time I was just trying to say I love you, and the kids in the town in Fulini, they were laughing at me.
See,
you remember that? They're like, it's so easy. All it is, and they say it, and they're little in it and things like that. And I'm trying to say it and move my tongue the right way. And it's not it's in the back. That's a lot as an adult. So, the grass is always greener. The grass is always greener. Okay. You got another reason why South Africa's on our list?
Let me see. Well, there's so much to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the culture, it's the motherland.
Yeah. Yeah. It it's got a vibe. It's got a vibe, and I can't wait because we last time we were only in Johannesburg for like 24 hours, so we didn't get a good feel. This time we're going to be there for a week. We're going to hang out with Ashley a bit. We're going to hang out with my stepsister a bit. And hey,
Hey,
Sanla, this is
Sanla.
one of our teachers that we got to meet with on Friday. It was so great
It
seeing
was so
him.
great to see him.
Oh my gosh, him and Torian, they all growed up. It was
All grown up, grown man.
grown men. And stop smoking some.
Hey, leave him alone.
I'm gonna be Mama Bear. I'm gonna be Mama Bear. I want
It's
to.
all out of love.
That's right. That's right. So,
And
so
he
yeah.
says 12 language.
Oh, 12 official languages. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I see. It seems to me that you told me in 2008 that it was 14. So I don't know if two dropped off or I'm just remembering incorrectly. Um, you got the clicks. Thank you, Sama.
Don't make her head.
Thank you. No, I was practicing with the guy who was making up the African food the other day. He was giving me a little lesson while they were.
So y'all was flirting?
This child was young enough to be my child. Please.
That was like,
please. But anyway, all
like
right. So we've got the stuff started. All right. So those are my positive reasons. You got your positive reasons, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to answer your questions and then we will let you know. It's funny because I was thinking about expats everywhere and they're like, would you expat that? We don't use the word expat too often. Because I don't know. There's baggage with that. So Greta asks, are you able to find grits in South Africa? Yes and no. When I looked on the aisle, I saw like a polenta type thing. So I think you could make it work, but yeah, no, I not grits as we know grits. But the same thing in Portugal, and actually I've tasted them. I've had them cooked for me twice now, and those will work. They're good. They're yellow, but they're good. Hey, Alaric, good to see you. Tell Shauna we said hey. Tell the kids we said hey. What are the housing prices like? Yeah, okay. Infrastructure. So infrastructure is a big word in that, as far as the roads and things like that, they were pretty good back in 2008, and they still appear to be good. They've got they're upgrading, even the roads in between here and Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch, I suppose, would be considered like a suburb of Cape Town in that it's only about 40
right.
minutes away. Um, and now there doesn't seem to be any gap in between town and city. So, but yeah, they were doing improvements on the highways and stuff like that. So, as far as that infrastructure
Yeah.
goes, in the major cities at least, last time we were in Joburg and Cape Town. This time we're going to do both. I don't know about Durban. I haven't been out there, but I would assume that it's no different. Now, in the inland and the smaller villages, I don't know. And I'm going to be honest, I do not know. But from that standpoint, we're good. As far as water and the quality of water, we've been buying bottled water. I didn't even look to see if people are drinking the water. We have been cooking with it when it's boiled, right? Boiling the water for, tea or whatever. And of course, using it with brushing our teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so the water's clean enough.
Yeah.
You might not like the taste of it. It's probably a lot of chlorine, but so that's fine. I have heard of them turning the water off from time to time, and like rolling water outs. That's been happening in Johannesburg. That I know for a fact because my stepsister lives up there. So, and she lives in a very upper scale neighborhood as well. It's not out like it's out in like Venezuela, right? In Venezuela, it's out more than it's on. South Africa's the opposite. Like it'll be out from like, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. and then maybe like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you just kind of have to plan around it. So that's a case. They have a thing here called load shedding. I don't know why it's called load shedding, but basically it's rolling blackouts. And that is true in Johannesburg, and that is true in Cape Town. And so when we were looking for an Airbnb, because we go live and we have to make sure that we stay consistent and bring you guys information, we had to make sure that we rented a place that either had a generator or something that was not affected by load shedding. And so the place that we're staying in Johannesburg said that they have a generator that will at least do everything except for AC. So, y'all. If we have some technical difficulties, I'm going to get the app. I hadn't gotten the app because it wasn't affecting us in this place, but I'm going to get the app and make sure. So I don't want to, I just don't want I don't want no trouble at the river. So we just go make sure that it's going to be okay. So I say that to say they are having some challenges with water and energy that they were not having in 2008. And that is a little bit disappointing. Safety. Safety is an illusion. We know that, right? It is a feeling more than it is a thing. However, there are statistics. And I say that to say, even in Portugal, the sixth safest country in the world, there were still, 85 attempted murders or something like that in 2022. That means, 85 souls were somebody tried to erase them from the earth, right? And each one of those lives were precious. And either anybody could have been one of those 85. But the chances, when it's only 85, as opposed to 85 mass murders in 2 months in the United States, right? The chances of you being affected by one of those is much greater in the United States, even per capita, than it is in Portugal. In general, South Africa is safer than America. However, one of the things that I have noticed this time that I did not see as much in 2008 is more aggressive panhandling. And yeah, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, a lot more. But we didn't really stay in Cape Town either.
No, we didn't, but we were at a lot of places.
Yeah, true.
And here or in Stellenbosch, the homeless situation on the globe in developed nations, and I'm going to consider South Africa developed, even though it's late in the game because of their history, is dismaying and reprehensible and unconscionable. It really is. And there's no reason for it. There is no reason why on this planet we should have unhoused folks.
Right.
Much less hungry when we throw food away every day. It's appalling. So in speaking to some of the folks that I know who live here and who have lived here and come back frequently, it feels like there has been an increase in corruption since we were here in 2008. So when we were here, Mandela was still alive, but he was no longer president, and it was President Zuma, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, sounds about
right. And he was saying some goofy stuff back in those days. He did have a couple of goofy things come out of his mouth, but it doesn't either. At that time, he hadn't had enough time to do a lot of stupid stuff, or it has been getting progressively worse as far as folks who look like us, right? Because we know this is South Africa, not taking care of their people, not putting themselves, and when I say themselves, I don't mean themselves personally, not putting South Africa in a position to compete as it could have. It already had a leg up, as far as I was concerned, on some of the other nations because of the westernization that had happened here, right? Because of white folks. So now you in charge It's like, okay, you gotta push up
you have
because there were so many white folks here demanding certain infrastructure. So you've got a leg up on some of the other nations that were getting their independence, maybe even 10, 20 years before you, but you still had that leg up. And they did not take advantage of the leg up that they had. That's what I'm seeing. Now, have I looked at any of the politics? No.
No.
But I do know the effects. I know what's going on. I know how it was then, and I know how it is now as far as um, mobility of the economic mobility of the folks, right? Um, the ability for the economy to have a vast safety net. The amount of money that I see in Cape Town is astounding. They have the high rises, the amount of luxury car,
oh my God, yes,
dealerships. And when I say luxury, I'm not talking about Mercedes and a Beamer. Oh, that's cute.
We're talking Ferrari.
We're talking Ferrari, Rolls Royce, Bentley, like that, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, not like $89,000 car or like 200, 300, $400,000 cars. If we have folks living in Cape Town that can afford that, then why isn't school free? So it's things like that when we talk about infrastructure that I would have hoped, and maybe I don't know if Sanla's still on. Maybe they do have subsidies now that they didn't have before. But I do remember not just talking to Tondo, who lives down here. I don't know if he still lives in the township, but he lives in Cape Town. I remember talking to him when we were here before, and he was saying that the economic tax base could not handle free education for all of the kids. And when you know that okay, that's fine, then just pay for the kids whose parents were not allowed to go to school. How about that? Let's start there. I don't know if they've done that. They hadn't at the time. And like I said, if they've got folks making so much money that they can afford 2, 3, 400,000, and they wouldn't have a dealership open if they weren't making money.
No.
Right? So they're making money.
I mean, all those big, loud cars you hear zipping up and down.
That too is
those
true.
are Ferraris.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of them doing that. I watch so many going down the street. It's like, wait a minute. There's a lot of people driving Ferraris and Mercedes and
there's money here,
all kind of luxury cars, and it's like
there's money. So, Rick and I have been walking most places. The other night when we went out, we walked somebody back up to the Hyatt where Exodus Summit is staying. And we walked back, and never did we ever feel anything that made us say, okay, spidey senses alert. I mean, we weren't being naive. We had our head on the swivel, but not the hard swivel, not the LA swivel.
No, I mean, people would come up and ask for
money. I gave away my food.
They'd ask for money, or for something to eat. If you would give them, if you had food. Yeah, she gave her food away because she had leftovers. And somebody had approached us, and she said, "I have no problem giving my leftovers."
Yeah,
and she did.
So like I said before, we're not going to answer technical questions, and certainly not tax questions. But it is my understanding that there is a treaty with South Africa. Okay, if that's your question, so you shouldn't have to be double taxed. But triple check that. And that's just from my stepmother who, lived here. So do you really want to uproot again and move even further away from the States? And what has participated your current thought process about where you want to settle? M. Young, we will save your question till last. Uproot. See, here's the thing. Because we don't have a lot of stuff anymore.
I was going to say, yeah, we don't have
we don't have any furniture. We could basically put our stuff in suitcases and move. Collections of this and that and the other besides artwork that I'm still trying to find a way to make more portable. We don't have a lot of stuff. But would you uproot? Uproot.
Maybe. I never say never.
Never say never. Hello, OBU. I'm joining a little late, so you may have already mentioned this. Halisi, have you or will you be seeing or linking up with the Exodus Summit ladies? Yes, we are here with Exodus Summit. I had already planned before I even had a ticket to the meetups and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I've got family here. I want to see my friends like Sanla and Torian, and even if I could have seen some of the kids that I taught, I was interested in seeing all of that, and then hang out with Lamar and Angela. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
good.
Sure,
Now
sure.
I get this, and I was just going to hang out like if they were hanging out in the lobby of the Hyatt or whatever, I'd go over there and hang out with the ladies and stuff like that. But I actually do have tickets, so I will be hanging out with the Exodus Summit crew. So Yoga Bliss Dance wasn't there some political instability, looting of stores, power issues? And so, yeah, we did talk about a lot, some of that, the power issues and stuff like that. I think there was an incident of looting, but heck, that happens in the United States too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So she says, Eileen, hey, Eileen, how do you feel about the post-apartheid? I think colored residents, and I'm not sure what apartheid poem is, and I don't know if that's a typo. Any Americanish type feelings? No. And I was here before, so and because I came here, or we came here actually, I was in my master's program and I was doing a fellowship teaching entrepreneurship here and with Sama, and so, but because I was in school, I had to read a lot of books on the history of South Africa. So when I came, I understood the whole colored black thing that is their version of divide and conquer. Now there are definite cultures that are attached to those terms, unlike ours, right? Like we've got a lot of. Well, I guess that's not true to say, but it's not a legal thing. Like some people in America call themselves Creole, right? Oh, I'm Creole. They're black, but they're Creole.
Right.
And there's a culture that is Creole. And my great grandmother didn't speak English; she spoke Creole. But that was never something that you put on the census, right? That was never something that was on your birth certificate. If you were Gullah, that wasn't on your birth certificate. Colored and black are on your birth certificate, or it is listed somewhere with the government, or it was at one time. Mm. So because of how we look, I didn't find any kind of hesitancy. And we're American. There's always a bit of like, ooh, so do you hang out with Beyonce and Jay-Z? It's like, babies, no. Babies, no. Not only do I not hang out with them, who's the YouTube star that lives in LA that we don't even hang out with them, right? Like, so being American, it's different. As far as the Afrikaners and the Brits, whatever. I don't pay attention to them. If they're nice, I pay attention. I say hello. If they got an attitude, I don't pay attention. So that's whatever. But I have received only love from those who consider themselves colored, and only love from those who consider themselves black.
Yeah.
So that's what I will say about that.
No issues.
No issues, as my grandmother used to say, no issues whatsoever. Okay, unstart that one. Jess, please try to connect with the immigration attorney for folks wanting to take the leap. It's a leap year. I like that. Take the leap in the leap year. Make it happen in the leap year, or at least get your plan started in the leap year. Take that leap. I love that, Jess. I love it.
That's the immigration process.
Yeah, Jametta, we'll talk about that next week. I have no idea. I don't remember when I looked at it with my stepmother like 2 years ago. I don't remember it being as onerous as Portugal, to be perfectly honest. Like, I don't remember there being like a 1-year lease on an apartment like we have to do. You have to commit in with money, serious money, if you want Portugal. So you better know that you want Portugal. Halisi, did you get an offer down there? I ain't working.
You
Girl,
going back to work?
oh heck no.
You didn't tell me that.
Oh heck no. You look.
I'm definitely not. So
I will if I never have to punch a time clock again. If I never have to, I don't want anybody else to be in control of my time ever again. Ever again. Me and this man, and that's it. Hi, is South Africa on a worldwide or territorial tax system? I'm new here and like your platform. Hey, chill vibes. You know what? I don't know what that terminology means. However, I believe, so if you mean, if you are a citizen of South Africa, are you taxed no matter where you go in the world? Is that your question? If so, I have no idea. And I don't even know what the process for citizenship is. We got to deal with residency first. There are only a few countries that tax their people no matter where they are in the world. And I'm not sure if South Africa is one of them. Here, I'm going to let Rick look that up right quick. Here. There you go. There you go. All right. So the burning question, will we make South Africa our home? That's what y'all want to know. I'm looking through these. I'm looking through your comments, making sure I don't miss anything. Y'all know it's 11:15 at night here. Hopefully the video is not frozen anymore. Let me go all the way down to the bottom and make my way back up. Hey, Carabelle, Auntie Trey. Look, V, don't be talking mess now. Don't be talking mess, talking about you guys are the most retired folks. The GDP is so big and the country should reflect it, right? Yeah, and I don't, I have not looked at what the GDP is, but I know what I see as I'm looking around. And this does not appear to be a country starving as far as what the federal government has at its access. But what I'm thinking is that they're doing good old boy deals. And so, they've done this in America too. Let's just say the highway, repair between here and Stellenbosch costs 10 million. I don't know what this stuff costs. I'm gonna just throw out some number. It costs, it costs 10 million. Well, they go ahead and do a contract with their boy for 20 million, and then they get 2 million in the back door somehow, right? It's that kind of corruption. I'm not sure that that's what's going on here, but that's usually what happens when money is disappearing. And it's like, why isn't this money being reinvested in the people? Why isn't this being reinvested in the infrastructure? How are we going backwards in one of the most beautiful countries on this planet? And so it's disheartening. It's disheartening. But I'm going to tell you, these kids are paying attention. These young people are paying attention. And if these guys think it's going to be business, if this is what's going on, I don't know. But if this is what's going on and they think it's going to be business as usual into the foreseeable future, they have raised a generation of educated folks who have a little bit of extra time to be paying attention, and they're not playing. So they're going to have to start doing right by their people a little bit better than this. In South Africa, another Mississippi, wherein the blacks are the institutionally have-nots. Historically, yes, CK. Historically, black folks were only allowed to go to 6th grade. Colors were allowed to go to 10th grade. And that's how they divided and conquered, to make sure that all people of color did not stick together to fight the man. South Africa they studied what we did in America. They studied what them folks did in America. They studied what them folks did in Germany. They took the things that were the most heinous and the things that they worked. They saw the things that didn't work, figured out why they didn't work and tweaked those. And then they brought it here. This is like some of the most insidious, especially when you have folks on their own land, the most insidious racism historically that we have seen. However, one of the big differences and one of the things that makes South Africa so much better than America is they admitted the stuff. They're not gaslighting their people. They're not telling their people, well, what? What? There's no racism. What? Oh, you can only go to sixth grade, but nobody can. They're not gaslighting their people. They had truth and reconciliation. Of course, that didn't solve everything, but at least they admitted it. At least they're not trying to make their people feel like they're crazy. No, we don't like the blacks. Isn't that what Trevor Noah said? So, in America, they don't admit it. They say there's no racism. We're just stupid. We're just lazy. If we just pulled our pants up and went to school and kept our nose clean, then we would have things. They have every excuse in the world as to why Black folks in America are not doing as well as their peers. Every excuse in the world. And yet when you see that Black women with a master's degree make less than white boys with an AA degree, there is nothing that you can say to justify that crap, except for try to make me feel like I'm crazy. So at least here in South Africa, they have admitted what they've done, and they're not trying to make people feel crazy. Now we can move forward and try to fix this stuff. Now that we're all on the same page about what reality is. In America, they don't believe in reality.
So the only thing I'm saying is
Eritrea. So
Eritrea and U.S.
are the only two countries that tax their people, no matter Eritrea, no matter where they go. Yeah. Ooh, Lord, that means Joe's parents are paying taxes there. Right? Our friend Joe in Colorado. His parents are Eritrean. Okay, Vicky asks, is it safe there, at least as safe as Portugal? I wouldn't say that it is as safe as Portugal, but it's definitely safer than LA. Right? Portugal's the sixth safest place in the world, y'all. Okay. So there's only 5 other countries that are safer, and it's not South Africa. Hey guys, can you speak to the decades-long struggle with energy infrastructure? We just talked about management, corruption. Yep, we just talked about that. Apartheid regime, the fact that 63% of South Africans are still below the poverty level. Yeah, we're just talking about that, Karen Louise. Thank you. Yeah, I don't like to criticize other governments per se. However, I know what was here in 2008, and there's been a lot of growth, but then there's been some decline. And I would have liked to have seen more growth.
Oh, definitely.
Emirates is worth the hype. It is worth the hype. Yep. Especially when you compare it at whatever price level, you compare it with the same price level, like economy, premium economy, et cetera, et cetera. You compare apples to apples on different airlines, it is worth the hype. I don't remember ever getting a meal and having real flatware. Rick says we have, but I don't ever remember having real flatware.
Yeah, we have. I think it was on France, Air France.
Oh, yeah? Maybe I slept through that meal. I believe it was
on Air France.
The Grit Brigade. Okay.
No.
South African Sign Language. Oh, those are all the languages, Zulu, Afrikaans, and English. Sotho. Yeah, so he spoke Sotho, and homeboy spoke Zulu. His friend spoke Zulu, or vice versa, but they could understand each other. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, I'm not gonna make fun of the dude that they caught who was supposed to be doing African Sign Language, and he wasn't doing anything. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was like back in 2006, 2005.
Trevor Noah.
Oh my God, yeah, Trevor Noah caught him. Peace and bless, or brought it to us anyway. Peace and blessings. I'm new to your channel. Hey, Sister CC, welcome. And just wanted to know if you've sought out your heritage connection to the motherland. Yes and no. We haven't. We've done Ancestry.com. So as you would think, mostly like the northwestern area, Ghana, Togo, all of that area is where my DNA comes from.
Mine came from Ghana, Togo.
Yeah, same thing.
More in Togo.
folks wanted to tell me all the Ethiopians that we have in Denver, and there are a lot. As a matter of fact, the second largest population, other than Minneapolis, in the United States, we have in Denver.
Mhm.
And they swear up and down that I was Ethiopian, and I will see, you'll see, you'll see. Ain't a drop of Ethiopian in me, y'all. Not
Yeah,
a
they
drop.
used to tell me that the ladies I used to work with that were Ethiopian. Your wife is Ethiopian. It's like, no, she's not. She's San Diegan. And they swore up and down, no, she's like she was lying to me.
Yeah, they would say it to me too. And look, Ethiopians are beautiful people.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not mad, right? Like this is a compliment, but yeah, no. And then they said because of the color of my gums too, that apparently that's a sign of beauty. They like get their gums tattooed.
All I know is they kept saying she's Ethiopian. Her family's her family's from San Diego.
Via Louisiana. And yeah, so just Western Africa around the Ivory Coast and all of that stuff. That's us. It is that clicking can't be easy, especially if your dentures fall out while doing it. Sunlock, is it hard to do if you don't have teeth? I don't know. Never thought of it. I guess if you grow up, speaking, if that's one of
Yeah.
your tongues, then I guess it probably doesn't matter. But that's funny, Ellen. That is
Because
hilarious.
to actually hear somebody speak in Kosa that correctly knows Kosa and
It's
they're
beautiful.
speaking fluently,
It's beautiful.
it is. It's like,
Yeah, it's beautiful to hear. It's musical. It really, really is. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. It was nice hanging out and meeting you yesterday. That's right. Exodus Summit crew is in the house. All right. I think that's it. So I think we've gotten to all the questions. We will keep it short since it's 11:30.
that's right.
I
You gotta
also
be
think,
up early, don't you?
we have to be up early.
We ain't. You got to.
And CK, yeah, it might be that the poverty has gotten worse, and so that's why the panhandling is more aggressive. It could be that. It could be that we're hanging out in more tourist areas than we were before. Before we were hanging out more where the average South African lived. So that it could be that too. But I have noticed it. I have noticed it, and it's breaking my heart. And so that's one of the issues. That is definitely another one of the issues. All
But
right.
ain't nobody over here shooting each other up either.
I don't hear any gunshots. Y'all, when I lived in LA in the 90s, and I used to, before I'd even met Rick, I used to go to sleep every night. And I lived in a decent neighborhood, the neighborhood that our condo is in right now. And I used to go to sleep to gunshots every night. Not like right outside the door, but I could hear them in the distance. It was not backfire. It was gunshots, because backfire is not pow, 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 right? That's what I went to bed to. So yeah, I haven't heard any gunshots or anything like that. And so from that standpoint, if we're just talking about pickpocketing and stuff like that, that happens everywhere. It's a crime of opportunity. Sometimes they're looking for you, but I tell you, I haven't seen like mobs of kids like I did in Italy trying to get all around you. Or even at the border in Mexico, I used to see that, mobs of kids, and they try to sell you chiclets while they're picking your pockets and stuff like that. So yeah, I have not witnessed any of that. South Africa, the old divide and conquer. Yep, Adolf Hitler used the race. That's right, and America uses it too, right? This is what people do. This is what those who want to stay in power when they don't have the people's best interest at heart. This is what they do, because they knew if they had to stay in power based upon their deeds, they'd be out. They'd be out.
What is pronounced Hosa?
What? Kosa? Kosa?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Are we moving to Cape Town? Are we moving to South Africa?
No.
The main reason why I could not move to South Africa is it's too far.
It's far.
It's just too far. As much as we love the South African folks that we come in contact with, I mean, just there's a warmth. There's a warmth. There's an energy. There's a beauty. They're beautiful people. Beautiful people. Oh my gosh. But y'all, it's just too doggone far.
It's a long trip.
It was 20 hours in the plane, not including the little layover of an hour or two, right? It's just too far. It's too far from every place else that we want to travel to. So that's the main reason why South Africa could not be the home for me,
Yeah.
right? Um, Lower on the list is the infrastructure issues and the corruption issues. And there's corruption in Portugal too, right? We know that our prime minister had to step down, and there's investigation and all of that. However, and there's homeless in Portugal, but I don't see it like I see it here. And what I've seen more in Portugal is the miracle houses that are everywhere, that feed them, and I don't know what else is offered in there besides food, but those centers are everywhere in Lisbon. And so those kinds of things there seems to be more of a safety net, right? We're a democratic socialist country, Portugal is. And so public education is free. They are educating their kids. So even though corruption is everywhere, when there's people involved, there's going to be some corruption. But you need to do some basic things for your folks. And one of them is education. And that to me is primary. I don't believe that South Africa is ever going to become the powerhouse that it is capable of until they can educate their kids at least through 12th grade. Um, um, Anyone who cannot afford it can go to school. Now, I don't think that has changed. And we will let you know next week if it has, or if there are any kind of subsidies. LA background noise. Or if there's any kind of subsidies that are now available, at least, right? Like they have 50-50 or, stipend, something. We will let you know. But as far as I know, that has not changed. That has not changed. And so it would, if you could pluck up South Africa and move it, like if Northern Africa, all the Libya and the Arab countries were down here, and South Africa with the same weather were up there.
But it wouldn't be South Africa.
It wouldn't be South Africa then, But if the people, the weather, the culture were closer,
yeah,
we could do it. We could do it.
I mean, because when we looked at it, that's 12 years ago when we were first here?
Well, it was 2008. That was 15 years ago, sweetheart.
Okay, so we were 15 years younger.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, we were.
She was just a kid still.
Early 40s. Early 40s.
Okay. So we were a lot younger too.
Yeah. So as much as we love it here, this when after we have citizenship, will we come back more often? Probably. Yeah. Probably.
Oh yeah, we'll be back again.
And the next time we'll do it like if we go to Dubai, we'll take like a 2-day layover and then get on the second half of the flight. I think that will make it a lot more palatable.
That would make it a whole lot palatable.
Yeah. So with that, we're gonna let y'all go. It is 11:30 at night.
She got to get up. Get with the ladies. She got to get up and get with the Exodus Summit ladies so they can go whining.
Yeah, we're going to go whining and dining. 100 Black women in the house, y'all.
Oh, Lord, I wish I could film that.
If you are a Black woman and you like to travel and or you want to take a sabbatical and or you want to move abroad, you need to be in the Exodus Summit Facebook group. You will find your community there. You don't have to be a solo traveler. You can be married like Angela and I are. But we find the support you've got. Anytime you're making a major decision, you've got to find community. Our Black Utopias Fire Over 50 to get your finances straight. We also talk about travel and moving abroad in that group. And that's for anyone from the African diaspora. Exodus Summit is for Black women only. But find the community so that you can do this thing. We have a ready to retire toolkit. If you need help getting your money straight, in the description below is our ready to retire toolkit. It's free. It comes with a series of emails to walk you through that. If you need more help after that, we've got a course.
Yes.
We've got a course. If you've taken Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence, let us know in the chat below if you have found it helpful. We know folks who have said it has changed their life. Okay. Right now it's only €127. That's all. And that gives you access to Rick and I every month in group coaching, as well as all of the content, the course materials that will walk you through putting together your plan for financial independence.
Yes.
Right? If you want to move to Portugal, the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit replays are still available. And in June, I hope to see you. We met some ladies here at, oh, you didn't. I'm sorry. Angela and I met some ladies here at the Exodus Summit who will be visiting with us in Portugal in June.
Oh, cool.
They're going to buy their tickets
Well,
and come to our meetup.
I'll meet them there.
You will meet them there.
All right.
Lovely ladies. Lovely ladies.
I still wish I could come and film y'all tomorrow. I'd take a boom box with Marvin Gaye. You
should have reached out to Francis as a potential videographer. See, but you would have gotten caught. You would have gotten caught. See,
because I could have stayed in the background.
Rashida would have been on his back.
I'd have flew the drone over. See, in the drone, you can get right down close and personal, right up on them.
Thank you, Latanya. Thank you so much. She says Beyond the Bling is totally worth it. And it is. So with all of that, we are going to let you go. We love y'all. We won't see you this Thursday. We'll see you the Thursday after that. But before that, we've got Ashley in Africa with us next Sunday. We'll be in Johannesburg.
Yes.
We'll let you know our impressions of Johannesburg, because last time we were just there for like 24, 48 hours. This time we'll really get a feel for it. And okay, now Alaric's asking something at the lab.
So no, what I do is I research every place I go to. I know where I can fly. I have apps to let me know where I can fly. The only country that I've come across so far that I don't plan on going to is not being able to have a drone in Iran. But I don't plan on going to Iran. But South Africa, everywhere I go, I check to see if I can take my drone.
So this is my son's godmom. Hey, Tanya. We love you. We love you all. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye from South Africa.